Hello and welcome to the very first episode of HUBisode, Europe Empowered, where we dive deep into the heart of Siemens smart infrastructure supply chain logistics hubs. I'm your host, Bianca, and today we are continuing our exciting journey to further explore the essence of our hubs. Why? Because hubs are crucial to ensure customer experience more effectively. We'll share how we are making things faster and getting everyone on the same page. But we won't give away everything just yet. Expect to hear about our strategy, the people behind the scenes, and how this affects us all. Today, we are starting with Europe. Joining me in the studio are two key figures in this transformation. Sven, our head of supply chain logistics, and Ruben, head of Europe Hub. So, let's kick things off by delving into our innovative strategy, READY, Regional Empowerment and Digital Interlinked. Today's focus is on regional empowerment and the introduction of our European hub, a significant leap forward from our existing hubs in North America, South America, Middle East, Asia Pacific, and China. Let's explore what this evolution means for us and the broader landscape of supply chain logistics. So, guys, welcome.
Thank you, Bianca.
Sven, what does it mean for us to have a Hub Europe?
As you all know, our SI-Look hubs combine supply chain activities across various countries or lead country bundles. They consist of people, processes, and technology. For Hub Europe now, it's our next step in the implementation of our supply chain strategy READY. Bundling our local operations, streamlining processes by orchestrating the regional end-to-end supply chains to drive customer experience. The Hub Europe addresses the specific needs of its region. We strengthen the network by collaborating closer across all functions.
And what is the difference from before? How does this new setup alter our approach?
Good question. Building of the existing operations, of the existing strengths in the countries, using the today's strengths we have with its unified framework across the region. Fostering open communication channels, sharing best practices, and ensuring that local operations harmonize with global objectives. Now it's the next steps. We're getting deeper, we're getting more meat on the bone.
But given the diversity of the countries and the languages, the requirements and the interest, how do we leverage this diversity, Ruben?
Kicking off with Hub Europe in January, one thing became clear, I would say, quite fast. We have, comparing the geographical size of Europe, a very broad and diverse setup with many countries. We have 11 lead countries and more than 36 related countries. So, of course, we utilize this diversity and use the strengths of each country and each market and foster innovation and creativity to bring it to a new level. On the other side, all the different countries can learn from each other, and we use that experience which already exists in the hub to enhance the quality, the performance of our operations in Europe. The other thing is, if you listen very closely to the needs of the individual countries and foster the knowledge about the unique demands of the local markets, you improve very fast. This is my clear expectation to what's before us.
Okay, that sounds really interesting, but how are we addressing the challenges that comes with diversity?
The first thing what we did when we started off with Europe in January was to build up a community for Europe. Building up a community means bring the people together, exchange, listen, share best practices. And so we just started out with the first hub meeting, listening to everybody, connecting everybody, also experiencing what kind of needs do we have, where can we help each other and improve.
And can you provide a concrete example related to this community building within the Hub Europe?
Yeah, there's a first example and a good example. Early January, we had a first quality and performance dialogue according to transport in Italy. And it was quite clear that we, on the one hand side, of course, leveraged the local knowledge about the market requirements. But on the other hand side, we brought in, for example, our providers, DHL in that particular case, and just improved the collaboration between the global player DHL and our local team in RC Italy.
Following up on that, don't the people within the network already know each other? Isn't there already an exchange happening?
Yeah, no, it's clear. Of course, the community existed before. What we do is we connect them, we get closely together and work on our common targets.
What then is the greatest potential of Hub Europe?
The greatest potential is to leverage those strengths, to leverage the knowledge we have, and of course to use the standardization, for example, in the different variety of tools we have today.
Sven, this question would be for you. How do we leverage customer experience within this new framework?
Yeah, that's, again, a very, very good question. Customer experience is key for us, and it's key to fulfill the market requirements and create a positive customer experience. How do we do this? We have harmonized core elements for each hub, or for all the hubs, we have harmonized core elements. And these core elements help us to focus on the right things, to focus on transportation, focus on order management, focus on the supply logistics, focusing on the warehouses, and creating a framework that that sets the bar, or even raises the bar, what we can or what we need to achieve in each region. And so with these harmonized core elements, we foster and we leverage the customer experience. The next thing is our Net Promoter score approach, NPS approach. And there it's not about the feedback in numbers, and not about the feedback in numbers. Is it 8.6 or something, or 53 or whatever? This is not the core for us. This is a different story on the sales side. For us, the core is getting the direct feedback, getting the comments out of the Net Promoter Score. This is so valuable for us. And for each reason, cluster them, harmonize them from the approach, focus on the right things, and then implementing directly. So getting the feedback, the comment in the Net Promoter Score, clustering it over the region, Europe in that example, and implementing it directly into, for example, Spain. Together with our customer care talks, the NPS is the base to improve customer satisfaction, create a more positive customer experience, and that in a more effective way. Last but not least, we have the, I don't want to call it assessments, we have the talks, let's say annual talks about the core elements integrated into the hub operations, ensuring closer alignments with the market requirements, and so also based on the customer needs.
And a lot has happened in these very first 6 weeks. So, Ruben, what's next on the agenda for Hub Europe?
I can give you a very good example. On the one hand side, as we heard, we want to foster the local decision-making. On the other hand side, connecting with the standards we provide. So in Spain, for example, we had a huge challenge with our transport network. And to really foster this local decision-making, we now closely work together on the improvements together with customers and forwarders, and even, I would say, cross-opco together with our colleagues from DI to improve with the network. So there will be a dedicated quality meeting planned for April to meet customers, to join in a dialogue with our forwarders and the local representatives, and to come to dedicated measures to finally improve. This goes also back to the NPS scoring, because of course there is an impact, a direct impact on the customer experience. And this is what we want to see in the end, an improvement in the customer experience and a further improvement in our performance and quality in our logistic network.
Well, that's very interesting. And you already mentioned a lot of things, but I want to have some insight. So Sven, what specifications did you include for Ruben in the development of the Hub Europe?
This is, there are two sides of that. First of all, our strategy ready means regional empowerment, and regional empowerment is also a very regional approach, localized approach, and so the specifications also come from the regions and from the requirements. On the other side, also, there's no necessity to give Ruben specifications for the development of Europe. Nevertheless, you said it, there's a framework, and the framework to create customer experience by driving and implementing our bundling strategy, establishing and developing further our customer service centers activities in Europe, so classical activities in the area of dedicated services, order management, supply, and customs operations, operational project logistics, and so on. And for sure, leveraging the READY strategy to foster the regional empowerment, and also the second part of the READY strategy, the digital interlinkage. And on the soft skill side, encouraging a culture of innovation and collaboration to meet the market requirements and to optimize the customer experience in a more effective way.
Wow, sounds really cool, Ruben. I hope you're ready for it. So I've also heard there's a newsletter in the pipeline. Can you share more about what we can expect from it?
What you definitely can expect is that we want to see some very exciting examples already after the first weeks, how we improved with our performance, quality, and customer experience. So I'm not sharing too much insights now, but very soon, mid of March, there might be interesting stories right from our Hub family. And this is the purpose of the newsletter and the right platform to bring more people to stage and let them share their successes, their projects, and of course the latest developments.
Okay, that sounds really cool. And more than one way to get updates about the Europe Hub. I'm already pretty excited to see this newsletter. As we now conclude today's episode, I have one final question to you guys. What can our listeners look forward to the next episodes of HUBisode Europe Empowered?
I don't know, Ruben, if you want to start, if I should.
We heard a lot today about the geographical setup, about the broad variety of cultures, about the, let me say, comprehensive setup we have in Europe. In the next episode, I would like to deep dive on the CSC, on the so-called Customer Service Center, and have a special focus on order management and the related deep dive in the processes and on the next steps.
And Sven, what are your wishes for the next episode?
The next episode, as Ruben mentioned, I would have the expectation to bring more meat on the bone, deep diving in one specific topic, in one specific function, the customer service center. I think the customer service center, the next rollout in bundling, especially in Europe, with also having a clear strategy on the customer service center. What's the plan to go, and what are the concrete next steps in the strategy of customer service center? That would be my expectation. And I would love to join again the next HUBisode to deep dive in that. On the other side, looking at the broader scope, order management, one key topic for customer experience. For sure, a lot of that is done and executed in the centers. Nevertheless, the requirements comes from the markets. The requirements come from the local organization. And as we all know, we call that backbone community in order management. And also having some first insights in the backbone community order management, in the next steps, how to improve customer experience with backbone order management. That would be also one topic we will strive in the next HUBisode.
Perfect. So we can expect a deep dive into Hub Europe. So we're now coming to an end of this very first episode, and I would like to summarize what we learned today. For Europe, we are, with our Hub family, now closer aligned and already have concrete actions and examples, like you mentioned, Ruben. We have the harmonization of local operations with global objectives. And, most important, collaboration and best practice sharing is key. So it's important for you all to get connected. And with that, it's time to say a huge thank you to our incredible guests, Sven and Ruben. Thank you for sharing your expertise and insights with us today. It's conversations like these that light up the path we are all walking together in the world of supply chain logistics. We are already gearing up for the next episode, and believe me, you won't want to miss it. There's always more to explore, more to learn, and more stories to tell. So stay curious, stay connected, and most importantly, stay tuned. Until next time, keep pushing boundaries and exploring the unexplored. See you on the next HUBisode.